I'm a bit giddy today because I've done yoga twice. I usually do it in the morning, and then it was during the daytime, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do nothing, or I could go for a walk. And then I was listening to podcasts, and I just started doing extra stretching. Before I know it, Morgan walks in on me in the middle of my downward dog.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he didn't even blink. He usually people say, "Oh, what's going on? I thought you done yoga." No, he just started talking to me. Didn't even know I was doing yoga. Sometimes I think maybe that's what'll happen when people come back to the Bill Murray. Even when I'm doing yoga, I'm always stretching. I'm walking around stretching. So like people won't know now when I'm doing yoga and when I'm just stretching. I'll need to put up a little sign. Stretching occurs from 2 till 3. Yeah. So that's why I'm smiling. Double yoga sesh. I haven't even been drinking as much as the weekends or doing that at all. I can't wait till everything's open up though. That'll be so good, just to go out and be able to do things and then come back in. I was reading this top 10 things to do once lockdown is over, and it was like, it's like some of them was, go watch this play or something, watch this, and like genuinely one of the actual top 10 things in it was watch the latest releases on Netflix. Like they weren't even joking. They were just like, some really good stuff coming out in September. Yeah. It's like, check it out. Well, there's other tiny bit of exciting news as well. Well, there's 3 bits actually, I guess, altogether. Number 1, exciting, totally, double yoga, nice. Second one, this is our 50th stream. So you've been watching me for 50 hours now, and I'm still here. We're still going hard with my boys. We're always thinking of kind of new ideas how to add to the schedule, how to mix it up a bit. We're talking to some other comics about doing some other stuff once we can get them to come in, and that, which I thought I could kind of get people to kind of come in a bit more now, but lockdown is still a thing, like, you know, still happening, even though the tubes are real busy, even though the construction sites are really busy, even though the market is open down by Sainsbury's, even though there's no bouncer outside Tesco for the past few days. Oh yeah, it's still lockdown though, so yeah, everything's grand except poor theatres like ours. There's a lobby group at the moment, I heard, and they're getting together with regards trying to protect and help out theatres, like just large spaces, because they bring so much to London, like the West End, all that stuff. All the hotels rely on it, all the restaurants, everything like that. It's a huge thing, and I'm just hoping little Bill Murray can tag onto that initiative. It's like whatever they're talking about. We need to bring the new music. Chicago needs to start again soon. It's like, yes, and also the small little room in Islington needs to get going also. Please help. But hopefully they're tagged on there, because they can't. Initially when they were doing lockdown, they're like full on thinking, oh, cut it down, flatten the curve, this, that and the other. When I'm seeing the Chancellor now, Richie Sunak, he's kind of being a bit more cagey. He's just like, this is costing the country an awful lot of money. We kind of need to start releasing lockdown a little bit. It's like, yeah, then release us, like, just do it, you know, just chill out about it. If there's another wave, I'm more worried now about say the risk to the country about a second peak. I think that's less risk to the country than loads of businesses actually folding and stuff. Like there's places around Islington now, and it's happened where they've painted over the signs above the doors and that. They're not coming back. Like Coffee Works down the road, they have a foreclosure notice up. Like there's places actually closing down now. Luckily our fans have been absolutely amazing and sorted out our rent for this month and last month, and me and Morgan, we just eat olive oil with some bacon. It's our diet at the moment. It's like, maybe you should get a real job, maybe you should try the bacon. Yes, that's our 50th stream tonight, so well done us, we're still here. 50 more, I say, and then more and more and more. I'm thinking about, not thinking about it, it's definitely happening. I was kind of looking at what I do I'm really adamant about, I'm really trying to figure out, you should do, like going back to when I was 19 or when I finished university. I really do, if you can find a job you like doing, you just find out what you do or what you like to do when you're free, and try and make that your job. So I've noticed, like, I do my working out in the morning, do my yoga, everything like that, I have my food, and then about 12 o'clock I start reading certain types of books. I start reading different articles online, and I could spend a few hours kind of reading these type of things. They're often to do with the mind, with consciousness, it could be with yoga, it could be stuff on diet and stuff like that. But a lot of the books I read are purely to do with the mind and how it's built up. From when you're born, how you have different imprints, and then how you can learn stuff and how you can retrain your mind as you grow older. Or say like if you have a traumatic event, that it can really reshape your mind, the way you see things. You could become a very pessimistic person, obviously, if certain things happen in your life, or very optimistic if things just happen to work out, but it's kind of the mind and understanding the mind and learning how to use and manipulate it so you have the best bits in life are enhanced, and then the worst bits you can kind of keep them knocked down a bit. But the new show I'm thinking about doing is there's a couple of these books, there's a few of these articles where potentially I'd sit down, I'd read a chapter of the book, and in the comments we'll be able to chat about it, we'll be able to discuss it, I'll be able to read it, and I'll stop, I'll pause, I'll reread sentences, I'll really try to understand it, because some of them is very scientifically heavy, so I'll really try and get into it and talk to you guys about it, and get questions and stuff like that. That's why we're thinking about over next week, we're going to be moving over to Twitch and be trying stuff out over there, just because it seems a bit easier. Other places have a bit more success with building up subscribers. I like the comment section, and there's a bit more of a culture over there of, say, watching longer streams. It's kind of what it's made for. And just to think that I'll be able to interact with the comments, I'll be able to read the book, and also I've got a big huge armchair that some dude gave me on the street, so I'll be using that. You can look forward to that. I'll be using that armchair. Yeah, that's the type of thing I talk about, weird things in life. I was walking down the street and this guy said, "Hey, do you want this giant armchair?" And it was a really nice armchair, and I says, "All right." And he says, "Oh no, just take his grand. He's just getting rid of loads of stuff from his house." So I just carried it down, brought it up, put it down, and suddenly when you have that sitting here, you sit down, you want to read a book in it, and then suddenly you have the idea of, oh, this is what I do during my spare time. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start streaming it. I'm going to start reading and thinking of ideas for shows. But like that chair came to me just out of the universe, came out of nowhere, and suddenly I have this really nice idea for a show that I'm passionate about and that I want to do. I'm looking forward to doing it, and yeah, that's going to be starting next week, so I'll practice my reading to get real good. I think that's everything. We've Sarah's on the show this evening, Sarah Mills. Yeah, it's going to be a nice show. If you guys could queue up, she's a comic, she's been around here a few times. I'm looking forward to chatting to her. She's a new series up on YouTube. We'll be talking all about that, but it's already got a load of views, and it's a really clever idea for a show, and then it's done really well as well. I watched the first couple episodes, you'll be able to get to see them this evening along with some of her stand-up. So we're going to get her on the call while we're preparing all that and getting that ready. You can watch some of her stand-up, so if you queue up the stand-up, you can click go on it. Yeah, I think that's everything. Cool, I'll chat to you soon. A few minutes. Bye.
Oh, there we go. Guys, how are we doing? I'm your last act. You'll be pleased to know. Well, will you be pleased to know it's been a great night, hasn't it? We've had a lovely old time. Oh, there we go. Good. Right. So my name's Sarah. I'm 4'11" tall, and I found out recently, right, that if I was 4'10" or under, I technically qualify as being a dwarf. Now you'd think I'd be really pissed off to have avoided that moniker, but actually, well, I am. I'm pissed off because what it means is that I've missed out by an inch on a shitload of disability benefits and a career in specialist porn. It sort of affects my dating life because I'll be going out like on Tinder and everything. And basically, if you're over 6 foot tall, men, all you are to me are nostril hairs and chins, and those are not erogenous zones. Like, forget about all this swiping left and right. Sometimes I've got to swipe a guy downwards in order to see his face and decide if I want to sit on it or not. So I'm celebrating at the moment, guys. I'm celebrating. It's been 2 years since I had my last shit. Oh, that woke the room up a little bit. Yeah, it's been 2 years since I had my last shit. I got diagnosed with bowel cancer 2 years ago, right? Now, I'm going to make like my ex-boyfriend during sex and skip to the end and tell you that everything was all right. I have survived, I'm still alive. But yeah, 2 years ago, ago, the doctors, thank you, that was really kind, by the way. 2 years ago, the doctors, they found a tumour in my butt. This is seriously true, by the way. It was about sort of like 5 inches up there. And when they told me that had happened, when they sort of discovered it, my main reaction was I was pissed off. And I was pissed off for 2 reasons. The first reason was that in the age of #MeToo, I didn't like the fact that there was something up my arse that I hadn't consented to being up there. And the second reason, right, was that I was effectively, I was dying at that point. Like, they sorted it out at the end, but at this point I was dying of cancer. And what pissed me off about that was that I was dying, but first. Right, guys, I'm not gonna die but first, right? If I'm dying young, I'm dying from some sort of abseiling accident gone wrong, I'm doing a sort of tandem bungee jump with my future husband, Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm not dying from the arsehole upwards. That is not happening to me. So yeah, I found out that I had cancer. Basically, they've treated it now, it's all gone. But 2 years ago I was sort of being tested because I had blood in my poo. And I know, like, you guys were not expecting this tonight, were you? Like, this is just a completely left field set. But I found I was seeing, like, blood in my poo. And I know that sounds gross, but it's better than poo in your blood. And, like, it was one of those things. It was one of those things, it, like, started, I don't really know when it started happening. It was like something that, like, began imperceptibly and then got out of control, a bit like veganism or Ariana Grande. So I went to the doctors and I was like, I've got blood in my poo, and they did a few tests on me. Basically, they asked you to bring in a poo sample, right? They send you away with a little test tube and a tiny spade. So off I trot from the hospital, like I'm about to, like, build the world's tiniest sandcastle, go digging in my feces, come back to the hospital. It was a few days before Christmas, right? And as you're probably aware, hospitals in the UK are terribly underfunded. So when I brought my poo sample back, the desk that dealt with this sort of problem wasn't manned at that point. It was just vacant. And I went looking for a registrar, and they said, just leave it on the desk, it's fine, someone will come and get it later. It had my name on it, but I mean, so I left this little, like, pot of poo on the side of the hospital. And it was a few days before Christmas, and I felt like the worst secret Santa ever. Anyway, they called me back in for tests, and when they're testing you for this type of thing, when they're worried there's something wrong with your gastrointestinal tract, they do a gastroscopy, which is a camera down your throat, and they do an endoscopy, which is a camera up your butt. I did ask before they started whether I could have them both done at the same time, just so I could feel what it'd be like to be spit roasted by robots, but they wouldn't let me, so that was a shame. And yeah, so, and you can watch it while it's happening, by the way. Like, they shove a camera up your bum and it comes up on a screen by the side of your bed, and it looks a lot like the opening credits to Doctor Who. Who thought it? So yeah, they spotted it up there, and they decided to do surgery to remove the tumour, and then I had a little spot of chemotherapy to wash it all up. Basically, they do chemotherapy to, like, make sure there's nothing left, even though the tumour comes out. And it's about to get scientific. And how do you know it's going to get scientific? Because I bought a pointer. So I'm just going to talk you through what happened, like how they sort of operate when you've got a tumour in your back. Basically, so the tumour was here, so they cut above it and below it, and, like, took the tumour out through a hole in my belly. It was all pinhole at this point. And then they, the end of my intestine now comes out the front into a colostomy bag. So I now, like, collect all my poo in a bag, which is ironic because I used to really love those shows when I was younger that used to sort of advise you against hoarding. You know, like those hoarding shows. Like, yeah, anyway. So I had this little bag, and I know, like, it sounds really upsetting to have, like, a bag when you're in your 30s, as I am. But actually, like, I'm quite happy about it, because obviously it's better than having cancer. And so I decided to make friends with my bag, and I called my bag a name. I gave it a name. I called it Gillian McKeith. which if you haven't heard of her, which you probably haven't because a lot of you are from overseas, she's a lady who used to host a show called You Are What You Eat, where she used to study people's poo, and she also had a face like a disappointing jacket potato. So I had this surgery done, and then they gave me 6 months of chemo, and my hair started falling out, which was cool because like it thinned and I had to get it cut short, and I think you'll agree my hair looks amazing now. Thank you. Cancer was the best thing to ever happen to my hair. Yeah, great. So they've given me this bag here, and now my bum obviously is still there, but they just stapled it up at the top, so it's like a dead end. It's a cul-de-sac. It's a bit like Ramsey Street in the soap Neighbours, in that it's a dead end, and lots of Australians have been up there. Anyway, why do I tell this story on stage? It's a very crazy thing, left field story to tell, and I can sense that a lot of your bumholes clenched when I started telling it. But I just think it's important, to talk about these things so that you can all keep an eye on your own bodies. It's anything that's wrong, just get help. I am completely fine now because I went to get help from some lovely doctors and nurses who fixed me up good. So if you spot anything going slightly wrong with your bodies, make sure you get help. Thank you very much.
How's it going, everyone? Thanks for coming back to the show. That was Sarah. You seen her there talking about. She gave you proper background. I've seen the clip earlier on today, but it was some proper background to where she's coming from, what's come up for the past while. But we're going to chat to her for a little bit. We'll show a few little clips of her her show that was recorded earlier in the year, about 8:30 or so. But I suppose you queue up Sarah. She's there. Can you hear me all right, Sarah?
Yeah. Hello.
That was very good. How are you keeping?
I'm okay. I've got wine. Is this super bright? Does it look like I've got the entrance to heaven right here? Should I switch this on?
It looks like there's a fire in your bedroom.
Yeah, there is.
Nice. Yeah, I was watching some other clips that you put up online, and obviously you had the cancer earlier in the year, but now you're quarantined. You're with your parents. Which has been more difficult for you overall?
Having cancer or being quarantined with my parents?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely the cancer, babe.
I'd imagine so. Yeah.
I've actually come back. I'm in London now. So the web series that I filmed that you just mentioned, that's over a year old now. But you're right that I've been posting them very recently, but it was filmed over a year ago. So I think what they call it is remission. So I had cancer and they removed it, and then the chemo was to stop it coming back. So I'm actually should be fit and healthy at the moment, but I need to be really careful with shielding. So shielding is what they tell you to do if you've had a previous health condition. You basically got to be super careful and not go near anyone else.
It's just because you could.
Because I hate people.
Oh, natural comic, nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're being, as I say, very careful, just not getting out and about, because it could be dangerous for you if you caught it more so.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just need to, everyone needs to take care, don't they? But, I mean, if like I said, I finished chemo over a year ago. So you would think that all those drugs are out of my system by now, but no one really knows. It does take a while. They're quite harsh chemicals they put into you. So it does mean that you could potentially be immunocompromised. So if I was doing chemo right now, I probably wouldn't have left my parents' house. But because it's been over a year, I have come back to my flat, and I am going outside, but I am socially distancing. I'm taking extra amount of care. I'm not going in the shops or anything like that. It's funny times to be living through.
Yeah, it's very, very strange times. So it was over a year ago that you had it in that. Are you just going to?
Yeah.
You've decided to keep your hair short. It looks really nice.
Actually, I just shaved it off because I couldn't get access to my hairdresser.
That was the main reason.
Yeah, I shaved it off. I think it looks amazing. I think all girls should do this. Do you know what? I was clearing out earlier today. I had like 5 hairbrushes and about 10 different hair products, and I was like, this first of all takes up lots of space in a small flat that I live in. Second of all, cost me a lot of money. Shave your head, girls. It's like you can do it yourself at home. All you need to do is invest in some clippers. That's the end of it. Look at this. This is great.
Yeah, it's looking very convenient.
Women don't need hair.
I have long hair. I have it tied up now as well, but I think I have one. I don't have any hairbrushes. I have a comb that I use to get the knots out sometimes, but it does take some looking after. Even medium long hair, you need to wash it. You have to do it all.
Shave it off.
Shave it off.
Shave off.
Shave it off. Do it now. I could shave it online. That'd be a great stream. No one's ever done that before.
Well, there is Macmillan are doing a Brave. So Macmillan Cancer Support. They're doing like a Brave the Shave thing, which is fundraising where you shave your head.
Yeah, there's loads of people.
Obviously, I can't do any fundraising because I've already done it.
What's the name of the one where you kind of put your hair in a ponytail or something, or plait your hair and then cut it off, and then you give it the hair to kids because they like hair?
I don't know. Just because I've had cancer doesn't mean I have an encyclopedic knowledge of all the charities.
Okay.
But I know that does exist, and I'm sure you can Google it after this.
Yeah, maybe I could Google it now. Maybe. I can't think of the name of it. I probably best answer that because I've seen the ads. I've seen the ads doing it. I know a couple of people that done it as well. But if that was one, that'd be a good one to do, where you kind of give the hair to. It's like, what's it called? Children's locks or something like that. Morgan,
I think
check
there are
it
a
out.
couple.
Yeah, there's probably loads. Morgan, he's the guy up there. He's going mad looking for it now. Yeah. Did you do so when you started? When did you have the idea to kind of start filming your show, or have the idea about bringing comics in and doing that?
It came from the idea behind the chemo chat show was that chemo is really boring, and that's not something that is. No one really talks about that enough.
Mm-hmm.
That chemotherapy is just dull as fuck. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Right.
So you sit
so
down.
I did it like, go on.
You sit down. You sit down in a chair, and you just have to sit there for hours. Is it while they put the chemicals into you?
I had to sit there. Yeah, you're there for sort of 3 hours. I mean, it depends how long. I mean, it's not an exact thing. It's just how long it takes to get in there. But yeah, on average, about 3 hours, and that's boring.
Mm-hmm.
And so my job, like day job, is like developing TV shows and coming up with TV show ideas. So it was just an idea I had, and I invited sort of friends of mine that I knew through performing at Angel and at other venues to come and keep me company. And then people were really keen to help out. And in the very last sitting that I had, I got Dara O'Brien in, so he'll be up on the next episode.
Cool, nice one, yeah. And I say that hopefully they brightened it up a little bit when they were there, chatting and talking. Were they like?
Yeah, they were amazing. I think I just did a video. I think you just mentioned it actually. Saying how I think there's something about that setting, like when you chat to people in a hospital setting. I mean, I don't think there have been any chat shows, maybe for sensible reasons, that take place in a hospital. But when you are in a hospital like that, suddenly people, their sort of walls come down. I think you're slightly closer to, I don't know, sort of a reflective place than you would be otherwise. So people were very open, shared lots of stories about times that were hard, times that were great, times where they were ill. But the main thing is that they were also very funny throughout, which is what I needed, because like I say, it was fucking boring.
How many times a week did you have to do it? Did it go on for months, or is it a week?
Once every 2 weeks. I did it for I had 12 sessions. So there must have been about a few where no one came to keep me company, or I had just mates but didn't film it. And then I got 8 episodes, so I had like Judge Rinder came and kept me company one time, Phil Wang another time, Harriet Kensley, Sakisa came and kept me company. So people, it was just quite funny because like when Judge Rinder came to keep me company, obviously everyone recognizes him straight away, and they talked to him, that like, so other people on the ward are like, oh my god, are you sick, Rob? Because Rob's his real name. Are you sick, Judge? And he's like, no, I'm just here to help out my friend. He gestures over to me, and they go, oh, that's good. And I'm stood there like, oh, well, I guess fuck me then. It's fine to have cancer so long as you're not a celebrity.
Yeah, I think that's what they were saying. So not everyone in the ward was really nice then, I guess.
Yeah, it was just I guess, you know, they sort of didn't think it through, the comment. It was quite funny, basically, that's their response. And it's nice, I think. Rob Rinder's a really good friend of mine, and I think it was nice. He speaks to all his fans. He speaks to anyone who wants to sort of approach him in the street, any situation. He'll chat to people. And I think it's nice that people sort of feel warmly enough to him that they can approach him like that, and that they were sort of invested in his health. Because
when you were saying about there the like setting a TV show in a hospital, you found that brought people's barriers down. And it was an interesting way, or something you found interesting from it. Just what that made me think of is that there was I don't know, was this psychological test or something like that, but the idea was that you go up to a bus stop and then you tell someone just something intimate about you, and then their automatic response is nearly to, if you start chatting, that they'll say something back to you like that's very personal as well. So people want to share that, like, so obviously when you're getting your chemo done, you're in a very vulnerable situation where you're lying down. So when someone comes to see you, they just pour open. They're just like, they just want to kind of relate to you in some ways.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's very cool idea to do it like that. Would you ever thinking about doing any other shows in a hospital to generate that kind of feeling?
Well, I don't need chemo anymore. So that was like, once I finished chemo, that was the end of my treatment. I was effectively cancer free, not all clear, because the phrase all clear means that you have been sort of almost certified that you are out of harm's way, and that's, they can't really say that with the staging of my cancer for another few years, so they just have to wait to see that nothing reappears. So we're still in that sort of waiting zone. But so I don't need treatment now because I am technically cancer free. So now it's sort of this sort of weird double-edged sword. It's like, well, it was a great series, as you like, I like to think that was a good idea. I can't possibly recreate it. Like, I can't, they won't let me back into a chemo ward because I don't need it, and because we're in the middle of a pandemic. So what my follow-up, it would be great if I needed more treatment because I could make the show. But I don't. So I'm a bit like, oh fuck, I don't have cancer anymore. I can't keep making this series. I mean, obviously, if you gave me a choice, make a fun web series and have cancer, or don't have a fun web series and don't have cancer, I'd go for the latter, obviously. But it is a bit annoying because it's like, oh well, I could do another chat show just about health and about, you know, the most interesting question I think I asked everyone was, what's the closest you've come to death on the chemo chat show? So because that, having cancer was like the closest I'd come to death, and when I was having surgery it was quite a sort of a close run thing. And people had really interesting stories, like Ishan Akbar was telling me about how his testicle nearly twisted off one time, just randomly. Sakisa was telling me about how she got stabbed one time. It's incredible, like the stories that people come out with. I think what the follow-up to the chemo chat show will be will be something around that, where people have needed the NHS and have needed healthcare workers, maybe like a chat show around just health, but a comedy chat show, because I think at the end of the day I'm a comedian. Like, if it's not funny, it's not worth making from my point of view. Anyone can make a chat show, anyone can vlog about healthcare stuff, and plenty of people do. But I think what was nice about what I did for this YouTube series was make a health journey funny.
Yeah, and totally just getting a camera into those situations where you were literally getting treatment, you were like so vulnerable, and then you as a comic, and then getting another comic in and just getting the comic's perspective on chemotherapy of all things. Like, it was it's a very original thing to do, and I can see why you're in that job, kind of generating TV shows. Like, it was very.
I mean, I'm not working at the moment. No one in telly's working, but yeah, that is what I do in normal times. In the before times, I was a TV producer.
Maybe while we're chatting about it now, if the guys could queue up a couple of the episodes or a couple of the clips that you sent in. I think the first one's of Phil Wang. So if you guys want to watch this, it's pretty good. I've seen it earlier on, but I'll give a flavour of what we were just talking about there. So you can start running that now, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
There is literally no justice.
But in our apart from my call,
I've had cancer, and Jeremy Clarkson's just really rich and happy.
Oh.
Shall we pretend like we're in ER?
As long as I can be George Clooney.
Doctor, we need to get the crash cart, quick! I just bumped in.
That was like, it'll be alright on the night, hardly ER.
Come and sit down with me and we'll talk. You're alright, looking at your watch. We haven't even got started yet. You're my bitch now.
The problem with that sentence is the now.
Rob and I met when I was producing him on his chat show that he hosted. And now the tables have very much turned, because I have my chat show that I host from the chemo ward. And he's come. It's very kind of you to come along.
Hi, what are you talking about? I was terrified of you.
I've been in treatment for most of the time we've been friends.
Yeah, and it's been really fascinating, actually, in a variety of ways.
Well, I'm glad that my sickness has fascinated you.
Fascinating about how you come into people's worlds, and how they teach you stuff, and
I know
why and when and stuff. There's sort of an anger about it, because although you're going to be fine, and I feel quite strongly about it, and confident, I know it's not what we talk about. No, I feel really strong. But there's also that sense in which there's such a, there is no kind of cosmic justice, but it feels like an unfairness. And a short period of time, certainly, when you would sort of come through my mind, ultimately I feel really angry. And you sort of walk through the world, and or you'd read the news, and you think, oh, goodness me, there can't be any justice. Look at this appalling human. And there's you, that all you do is sort of just generally decorate the world and make it more funny. Going through this appalling thing.
I know, makes you really... there is literally no justice.
But in our apart from my call,
I've had cancer, and Jeremy Clarkson's just really rich and happy.
Oh. Have you lost hair?
Yeah.
It's really unnoticeable.
Have you seen this poultry whisk?
It's like that scene in Dynasty or Dallas where they have a car accident, and there they are after a 12-hour operation, looking perfect, or they've been married for like however many years. The phone goes in the middle of the night, and and the difficulty is that you say, does my hair look shit? And it doesn't.
You know that you're losing your hair when you have to do, like, when you're used to doing 5 turns of a ponytail and then you have to do 7.
Yeah, the challenge here is that that's evidently sad for you, and I
sad.
No, and I want to understand more about it and listen to you, but self-evidently it's not something that I have an immediate sense of empathy about.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Let's face it.
How many twists do you need for a ponytail?
Exactly so.
Okay.
Yeah,
you have made
20 years, some imagination, and a bit of road game.
I mean, not only did I have the cancer of an old man, now I've got the symptoms of an old man as well, where my hair is just thinning by cancer of an old man. I didn't steal a man's cancer. I had bowel cancer. That's associated with men in their 70s, and I'm clear. I hope it's clear that I'm not a man in my 70s.
Have you ever thought about other commonalities you have with sort of men in their 70s?
Absolute lecherous bastard.
Yeah. What else?
I've lost all verve for life really early in my... Yeah, can't be bothered anymore.
No, you're one of my happy place humour, actually.
Is that the children's TV show you're slowly creating?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have the firework specially designed to ensure my instant death.
Hello and welcome to the Chemo Chat Show, where this week my guest is none other than Phil Wang!
Hi everyone.
There he is! Yay!
Hi Sarah.
Hi Phil! Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
Let's
having
go
me.
sit down.
Okay. So your butt cancer is gone.
Just literally as I switch the microphone on.
Yeah, I have a sixth sense for these sort of things. I know when the audience is in. So your butt cancer is gone.
My butt cancer is gone.
They cut it out, so you don't have a butthole anymore.
I do have a butthole. And I got bowel cancer, which most people get over 60. So
That's-
basically my body is aging faster than my mind.
I know that feeling. I've got a really bad.
Fuck off, you're 28. How would you want to die if you got to choose?
Oh yeah, I think about this all the time. Have you
You
seen?
think about it all the time?
All the time. Have you
That's
seen
dark.
Mulan?
Yes,
You know
I
how
don't pronounce it
do you
like
know
that,
how
but yeah.
the bad guy dies in Mulan?
How does the bad guy die in Mulan?
He gets shot with a huge firework. He flies into the sky and he explodes. And I want the
Well, so they put the
incineration.
firework in him and then they light it and he goes
No,
up in
he's
the
shot
sky.
with it. Like he turns around and a firework's coming out and he takes him out. It doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't have the thrust to lift a man that heavy. But he hits him. He takes him all the way up.
Engineering degree?
And he goes and he dies on this huge firework. And I want that, but I don't want my bits to fall on everyone. So it needs to burn at a high enough temperature that I'm incinerated completely in one blast.
What, as
Which
in your extremities? Or your literal penis and balls?
No, just all my body, all my metal.
Oh yeah, because, okay.
I don't want bits of viscera falling on. I'm guessing my friends and family.
So you'd
who've
invite
gathered to
an
watch.
audience?
Yeah. And then I'm like on a stake. I'm tied to this huge firework, and I'm like, "Hi everyone," and they're like holding candles.
You MC your own death?
The fuse would go all the way to the middle of the crowd.
Yeah.
So everyone puts their candles in, and they all light the fuse. And
But they're not going to do that because they basically would be killing you then.
Yeah, but they've come to terms with it. I want it.
Okay.
You've asked me how I want to die.
Yeah, fine.
And then so everyone goes, "Tss," and then as the light approaches me, everyone goes, "Oh."
You really thought this through and I
then,
like
and then
it.
it gets me, and I go, "Bye everyone," and then it goes right in the sky.
So what if, like, it just ripped your arms off and you stayed behind? I don't want to piss all over your death parade, but...
I'd have the firework specially designed to ensure my instant death.
Okay.
Like, would there be tests? I'd go to like labs. I'd see them like blow up mannequins and stuff, and go. And
I feel like there's a TV show in this
And come in with the.
with fun ways to die and then testing them out. It's gone again. Oh, do you know, look, it's kinky. There we go, that'll do it. It was curved up in my elbow.
Oh yeah, it's really going for it now.
Going like the clappers.
I sure you don't want to just get someone. I'm going to stop asking you. I'm going to believe you. I'm going to trust you to handle this.
I think it's fine. Is it going in?
Is that it? It's
I
not
think
going.
it has actually stopped. Oh, it has stopped. You know, we should get someone.
Yeah. Is it like calling a waiter? Is it similar kind of?
No, it's not like calling a
Oh, okay.
waiter. How would you call a waiter like this?
No, I go like this.
That's good.
Hands up.
That's
A
good.
friend
You're
of
a
mine told me
good-
this
you're
is
a good
rude.
customer.
That this is very rude in Asian.
No.
Yeah, I know. She's talking nonsense.
Yeah, she is talking nonsense.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That was the show. Sarah, that was Phil Wang on that one. You mentioned Darragh O'Brien was going to be on the one, but you've filmed a whole series of them, have you?
Yeah, I filmed the whole series while I was doing chemo. So it's just an absolute ball ache to get things edited. So and also I tried to sort of get things out at the time, and it was just, I was so tired at the time that it was almost impossible. And that, coupled with like wrangling footage and stuff, just held me up. So, but I think the episodes that I'm putting out now are better for having sort of cooked them for this time. So Dara, I'm starting to release those this week, and then we'll have Harriet Kemsley. Amelia Womack came to keep me company. She's the deputy leader of the Green Party. So just a range of different people, but yeah, they're all coming out this week.
Yeah, it really is a range, like comedians to deputy leader of Green Party.
Yeah.
It's like,
so reality show judges.
I would have loved if someone, if they didn't turn up someday and you just convinced one of the doctors to sit down and talk to you for 3 hours.
I mean, that would have been really, that's the thing, isn't it? It's, you talk about healthcare and talk about treatment for all these different diseases, and maybe I should have got someone with a bit of a health background, someone with a medical, I mean, maybe I should have approached Harry Hill. He used to be a doctor.
Did he? Yeah, maybe dressed up as one. Or maybe if you got the doctor to do like director's commentary on the final cut, that'd be like, oh no, that's the wrong chemical, oh shit.
That's a genius idea.
Director's commentary, Phil Wang, and plays the doctor.
That is a genius idea. No,
fair enough.
Too much work. I need to do the next thing now.
Yeah. Have you done any editing? Have you done any editing yourself before this, or have you given it out to someone to edit?
Yes, I mean, I have to edit in my job. So if you work in like TV development or even production, you end up doing a lot of stuff for yourself. You end up being like a one-man band, but instead of like having, a tambourine attached to your ankle and a mouth organ around your head and a guitar, you edit your own stuff and you set up the shoot, and then you shoot it when you're there. You can, you're in. I think just because budgets have like been shrinking over time, since I started out in telly about 10 years ago, there's no money anymore for like cameramen or sound people or editors. You just have to do it all yourself. Yeah. Especially now that we're all like in content making as well, especially. I mean, you have to be a one-man band.
Well, when you see a lot of even YouTubers who go from just being themselves to being like a little mini business, they actually do it all themselves, and they started off doing it all themselves, and then even when they get like 100,000 subscribers or whatever, a lot of the time it is just a camera. They do their own sound, they're in control of the whole thing themselves, and it just helps them get it out there. I do love how I think comedians do kind of set the way in some ways with regards that type of attitude, because like comedians were always like, say, even going up to Edinburgh, say 20 years ago or 30 years ago, they were writing the show, they were performing it, they were producing, like they're doing the whole thing themselves. And that was that long ago. I think everything will come back around, where more and more people are just doing their own thing themselves, and it's amazing how it's happening in TV now, how you have to edit it and present it, and it's a proper like TV thing, like,
I mean, it's a lot of work. That's the thing that I don't think people mention, or they maybe don't think that it helps their cause to talk about. But it's a lot of work. Just so I made a sort of 5-minute thing that's up on my channel now, just about sort of why I decided to make the Chemo Chat show, and that's just from setting up a nice looking shot to filming it, to then sort of choosing the best bits and then cutting it down, and then even once you've cut something, you've got to go over it again and check that the sound is level all the way through and that the colours are popping. And I mean, maybe I'm a perfectionist, maybe that's the problem, but there's a lot of work that goes on under the hood that I don't think people realise happens with any sort of content creation, even down to like the very simplest 30-second video.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that, but it does, the colors do pop in your video, so they look really good. Like-
Thanks, guys.
I've the reason I was kind of interested in it is because since lockdown, I've only started. I was always just writer, performer, like I didn't do any other stuff at all. But since lockdown, I've began to learn how to edit, how to do different bits and pieces, and even the live stream and all that. And yeah, just to produce like a short clip, there's an awful lot of stuff that goes on behind it. Like, but
It's
yeah.
crazy. And then on top of that, you have to become an expert not only in whatever editing package you use, or in terms of like the grammar of production grammar or film grammar, whatever you want to call it. You also now have to become an expert in, well, YouTube likes it if you've got a hook at the top, and if you've got, you need to have a great thumbnail, and then you have to have a description that's got no more than 5 hashtags but no less than 2 hashtags, and then if it's on Facebook, it's got to have its own other set of rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could spend an eternity just making one video if you wanted to, and you'd never know everything about everything you needed to know.
Yeah, and you'd learn a lot from that one video, but probably also just 3 views. Yay.
Yeah. But I mean, you just got to keep at it. That's what they say.
Yeah, well, it's the classic kind of thing of like, if you do enjoy, like I do like making funny videos. I do like kind of looking up a new editing thing. Oh, I'll add that in. That's kind of fun. So if you enjoy the process, that's okay. You can afford to do it for a while, like, and you'll put some time towards it, like, to learn how to do it. But if you don't enjoy the process and you're kind of holding on that one day you'll have all these views, all these subscribers, you might be kind of, it'd be a foolish thing to kind of bank on, like, you have to, it's like,
but I always think, is it any different to, so how to, as comedians, when we gig, and in the before times, BC, before coronavirus, when people would say you have to gig every night to become successful. And as much as it is true, there are plenty of people that you and I both know, and people watching will know, who would do that, and no amount of gigging would mean that they would ever get there. I think it's the same with content. Mm-hmm. There are myths and sort of almost like dogma around both disciplines, where it's like, if you just keep doing it, mm-hmm. you'll get there. If you keep gigging, you'll end up on Live at the Apollo. If you keep putting content out there, you will eventually have 1 million subscribers. I mean, they're both myths, but what else are you supposed to do if you want to get to that point at the end? You just keep going.
Yeah, no, that's it. You just have to keep going, and then you'll get there. Like there is some people who have kept going and who didn't get there, But
well, that's the majority. But I mean, what else are you going to do if you want to be there?
Yeah, I suppose a lot of people kind of get browned off with it, like, they kind of do it for so long and then they realize they don't want to get there, or they're not going to get there, so they won't bother anymore, like. But that's it. If you're 600 gigs in, you still want to keep going, you just keep going, like. Yeah.
Can I just ask, I've got my hand up because I've got a question. What does browned off mean?
Oh, browned off, what does that mean? That means kind of, I think you've made that up. Yeah, it means to get bored. Yeah. Is that an Irish thing?
Yeah, I think you've made that up, babes.
Did I? I was worried.
I've never heard it before, so obviously it's made up.
Maybe. It doesn't sound great at the moment anyway, for sure. I'll have to watch what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I don't think I made that up. I definitely heard that. I heard it from home. I didn't even think about it.
Where are you from? In Ireland?
Yeah, I'm from Ireland, the West Coast. A place called Mayo.
Okay.
Yeah. Where are you from? Stevenage, yeah. Wait, is that in London, is it?
No, Stevenage is it's in Hertfordshire, but it's like, a London satellite town. Mm-hmm. It was very nice to grow up there, but it does have the highest teen pregnancy rate in all of Europe. So.
What? What a stat.
I mean, you could walk into a Wetherspoons there and walk out pregnant. So problems.
Yeah. Do you still live up there, or did you move down into the city?
No, I live really close to the Bill Murray.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah, I love that place.
yeah. That's where I am.
Can't wait for it to reopen.
Yeah, we're trying. Well, we were talking earlier before the stream about when things can kind of reopen and stuff like that, and it's really just have to wait on what the government says with regard. Like, if it's 2 meter distancing, you can hardly get anyone into the place. Like, I mentioned this already. I'll say it now while we're on stream. There's a music venue who had like 350 people. They sell 350 tickets to see a band, and if they were to do the 2 meter distancing, they only get like 25 people into the place. And it just means they can't open because their overheads be too high. I don't think we'd be as tough as that, like, but yeah, we could probably get about the same numbers in if we like, I don't know what comedy clubs will look like as it starts to ease. Like, people will just put up, like, we'll just have tables, they just sell tables or something, and just go to
I
it.
honestly don't know. I hope it goes back as quickly as possible to normal. But then at the same time, I guess you do have a responsibility. All comedy clubs or venue owners have a responsibility if there are spaces that people get packed into. But I mean, I'm flip-flopping here, but we can't stay like this forever. Like, we have to start to get back to normal. If the virus is going to be like a way of life, then we just have to sort of accept that it's just there. It's very hard to know how to proceed. But yeah, I think you're probably best taking the government's advice. However, the government do also drive to Durham blindfolded during this. So
That is true. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, a lot of their advice has been bad. I've even seen some papers come out now, and there was this whole thing that the virus stays on surfaces for up to 3 days, and like, they're starting to discover now, like, oh no, it's like 6 hours or something like that. Like, it just doesn't last as long,
It's the same as anything else. I mean, it's the same. Bring it back to like me talking about all my cancer shit. Like, one day you'll read a news article saying avocados can cure cancer. The next day you'll read something saying avocados will give you cancer, and then the third day you'll be like, avocados are ruining global agriculture. It's the same with anything. I was worried about, so we went through a phase when I was staying with my parents where we were washing our groceries when they came through the door, and then because they told us that, because the news was that the virus stays on surfaces, like you say, for, I think I read that it was 24 hours, and then the doctors say no, or the authorities say it doesn't live on surfaces at all, so you stop washing your groceries, and then it goes back full circle again and you start washing your groceries again. I guess what I'm saying is, I just want to know, should I wash my groceries or not?
Yeah, well, it's safer to wash them, I guess, but it also takes time, and you don't want to just do it because the government says.
I mean, all of us have only got a limited time on this planet, and do we want to spend it washing groceries?
No, that's a resounding no from everyone in the world. What was the other one about? They were saying, originally they kind of said the idea that there's loads of asymptomatic carriers. Turns out that's like way lower. Like, that's just the thing that they thought of before. Oh, people are asymptomatic and they're carrying. Like, it's turned out that that's not really a thing as much at all. Like, so there's a lot of new information that's coming out all the time. Obviously, both of them only came out in the past couple of weeks, or the past week. So I'm beginning to wonder now, like, I don't think we're going to be that far away from, hopefully, the government saying, like, oh, we done what we tried, or we tried what we did because that's the advice we were given, except the advice is completely changed now and everyone can go back to pretty much normal. We don't think there's going to be another peak, or that's hopefully what I'm thinking. Back to normal as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's very hard. I think if there is no vaccine in sight, then we have to sort of accept that we're just living alongside the virus. But it's not really for you or I to say, is it?
No, that is true. I do talk about a lot of things that I don't know anything about, as the viewers know.
Isn't the saying there's only one thing that you know, and it's that you know nothing? Or
I haven't heard of that phrase now, but I think it makes sense. The only thing you'd be sure of is how little you know, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my YouTube fantasy is falling apart. Do you like that I brought fairy lights into my room?
They look brilliant. They're showing up really good on the screen here.
I think they look brilliant. They are falling apart around my ear.
They're strange fairy. They're like tied in a knot or something, are they? Or what?
They're sort of wearable. I could wear them as a
Oh wow!
yeah.
You're positively beaming.
But you're supposed to. That's the idea, isn't it? If you're on YouTube, you have to have fairy lights.
Yeah, and you are on YouTube right now, live as we speak. So,
So bringing you YouTube of fantasy realness.
yeah, people on YouTube or even other streaming places and everything, they always try to make the background look really, really good because it's just a nice thing to look at. As you were talking about earlier on, you just wanted to pop off the screen.
Yeah, you have to think about everything.
Yeah, even stuff you were even saying stuff that I didn't even know what to talk about at the top when we were like, oh, there has to be a hook at the top of your video, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the thing, yeah.
But with the same in the same token, there are people that release content that pays no attention to any of that. It doesn't follow any of their sort of rules of editing grammar. The shot doesn't look nice. There's no hook. They look like shit. They're not even speaking that clearly, and stuff goes viral and has 1 million views. You can follow all the rules and do everything to make your content look great, I think, but there is no there's no formula to going viral at all or having popular content.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make a load of shit and you can save yourself a lot of time not worrying about all those things, and you could still make really popular content.
Yeah. Is there anything that you're learning from, say, having the stuff edited at the moment that you change for, say, the future?
No, I mean, I think I guess what I have been sort of saying there generally is that you can work and rework stuff forever if you want to. Mm-hmm. So I think it is about, I think one of the best rules with content and getting stuff out there and putting yourself out there is to at some point just press publish, at some point just press release, post, because you can drive yourself crazy sort of editing, re-editing, thinking of new things that you can worry about with your content. And that's certainly what I've been doing with the Chemo Chat Show. I released it, I started releasing it a while ago, and then people were like, well, it needs to be under 5 minutes for Facebook, and it needs to have a hook, like I said, and it needs to, and then I started thinking about graphics and things like that. And then that adds on a whole other sort of 6 months in between, like the day job and life and getting over cancer. So you can spend, I think the best advice I would give for like content creators is that you have to sort of discipline yourself just to limit how much time you spend on any one piece of content. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't expect this to become like a sort of content making TED talk, and yet here we are.
Well, maybe it's just it's two things that we're both working on at the moment. It's just a commonality to chat about. It's just it's genuine conversation as well. I am interested. Like, I really like to hear about this.
Well, and everyone's doing it. It's lockdown. There are no other. People's creative outlets have become far more reduced. So, and content is one of the things that is flourishing and is possible without, getting the deadly virus and ending up in hospital. So
a lot of the a lot of musicians say that I would have been people who they have it as part of their motive, where they have a few ideas for songs, they only book a week in the studio, they go away and do the album and then leave. And I kind of love to apply that to even the bits I do on editing. And once I start feeling, if I'm editing a video, once I start feeling that, all right, I've been doing this for a few days now and I'd like it just to be done, I try and wrap it up as quick as I can, but I can see I can see why when you've recorded that, and it's such nice, you've such obviously really good raw material to work with, and you want to make a nice show with it, you do want to put the extra time in, because it's a real nice, you want to do it justice, I suppose,
it's and I think that's the same for anything, but you're right, there was something about making that show in particular that it felt sort of precious, especially because I only did those 12 chemo sittings. So I could never redo it. I couldn't go back and retake it. And also there is a bit of a responsibility as well, because it's sort of an elite group of people that have to go through that sort of treatment, and anyone who's in that position has strong feelings about it, and has a particular relationship with their health and their health journey. And so to sort of make that show and like put it up, and know that sort of other people who might be looking down the barrel of chemo and preparing for chemo, it feels, you feel like you've got to make it carefully for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be too flippant each week, but at the same time I don't want to be too down on it and too overly serious, because cancer is more survivable now than it's ever been. That's just medicine. So I don't, it just felt like a big responsibility. So there were loads of factors at play that made me sort of just work on it super hard. But I am very glad I have put it up now, and I'm now releasing those episodes, and eventually I will have released them all, and can make another piece of shit content about someone's cat.
Well, I'm glad you're putting the effort into them, because they're turning out really nice, the couple that I've seen. I'm looking forward to the rest coming out, and we'll give you a shout out on the different socials and things like that when the new episodes are released.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to seeing them, and thanks a million for coming on the show. It was really nice talking.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. I'll chat to you again soon, no doubt, and take it easy. All the best. Bye.
Like, come get my armpit. Bye.
Ooh, that was Sarah, everyone. You have her socials and stuff down at the bottom. You can click on them there. You can see the rest of the TV shows. That was nice. I like chatting to her. Yes, it was mainly about content. That is true. But it is stuff that I like to talking about, and like her. If you want to watch her shows to see what the actual shows are about, that's where you'll get a true kind of feeling for her style of recording and what she's talking about and things like that. But it was so nice to talk to her. She's so fresh, so good at chatting, really nice and bubbly. I really liked it. It's nice listening as well. Tomorrow we're going to be back with Keto Comedy Yoga Drugs at about 8 p.m. So you can tune in for that. It's the last week we're doing stuff on YouTube. We'll be moving over and we'll be putting a lot of stuff on Twitch next week. So I'll be asking you to kind of jump over there. We'll try it out. We'll see what that platform is like. And then we'll be able to catch up. We'll put some catch up episodes, some of the highlights and that. We'll put them back on YouTube. So if you want to check them out, you'll be able to see them there. Thanks a million for tuning in, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. And check out her shows. You can get her at Sarah Mills online. Give her a follow. Give her a subscribe on YouTube as well, because she's got loads of views on that, and she's like a few hundred subscribers already. It's really, really nice to see that go up. And you can follow me on at James O.D Comedy as well. So thanks a million for tuning in. I'll see you again. All the best. Good night.